Nigeria is not only the most populous nation in Africa, but it is also Africa's largest economy. Nigeria is bordered by Cameroon and Chad, to the north by Niger Republic, to the west by Benin Republic, and to the south by the Gulf of Guinea and the Atlantic Ocean. The people living in the border area have had both family relationship and some form of economic relations. These include cross-border trade and other forms of inter-border activities. This healthy interface between people living along the borderline had been mutually beneficial to the nations involved. However, at some point, the nation-state began to influence healthy relationships negatively. In Nigeria, this negative influence includes attempts to undermine the economy of Nigeria. These also include glaring cases of security breaches and unfettered importation of hard drugs in addition. Over time, the land borders began to create multiple impediments to peace, security, social harmony and economic prosperity of Nigeria. Fuel smuggling made scarcity of refined petroleum products permanent features. Illegal importation of foreign rice and other consumables began to affect agricultural production. All manner of illegalities took place, including importation of harmful plastic rice and rotten chemically treated poultry meat. It was under such circumstances that President Muhammadu Buhari ordered a border drill by security forces that signaled a partial closure of Nigeria's land border in the year 2019. Within a few months of the closure, security had been enhanced, illegal importation of harmful drugs had reduced, smuggling of refined petroleum products had dwindled, and local rice production had more than doubled. As at the end of 2018, 70% of rice consumed in Nigeria was foreign rice. By December 2019, less than 30% of rice consumed in Nigeria is from other lands. The table had turned almost to 100%, and the boom had equally forced a downward fall of price of the commodity, despite the huge incomes accruing to farmers, millers, and merchants of the product. It is in the light of this that the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Policy Development and Analysis decided to hold the third monthly roundtable in Sokoto on the 16th of January 2020 in order to analyze the benefits of the border closure. In view of the correlation between the border closure and the new policy on visa on arrival for Africans, the Policy Roundtable team decided to merge them at the Sokoto engagement. By 10 a.m. on the morning of 16th January 2020, Dankani Hotel Sokoto along Kalambaina Road had received guests, delegates and participants from diverse walks of life including academics, civil society activists, entrepreneurs, rice millers, journalists, lawyers and ordinary citizens who converged at the venue to discuss the issue. Alhaji Bapetel Hassan is the convener of the roundtable. In welcoming participants, he made clarification on the choice of Sokoto as the venue of the roundtable on border closure and visa on arrival.
The main reason for the choice of Sokoto, based on our analysis of the roundtable policies and some of the policies of the government, we come to understand that Sokoto, being a border, two countries, Benin Republic and Niger Republic, it becomes very necessary for us to look at Northwest as the area where we will go for this particular roundtable. They are rice-producing states, and with the federal government policy on partial border closure, that as it affects the rice importation of this country, we feel as a policy we have to engage the people of those areas for us to come and discuss and let them understand the reasons behind the federal government's decisions to partially close the border. As some of the stakeholders are saying, it is not even a border closure, it's border restrictions.
Honorable Ahmed Sajo, the technical assistant, set the agenda and dictated the tone of the engagement. He spoke the process and outcome expected from the roundtable. 3 highly respected individuals delivered goodwill messages at the opening ceremony. These are Honorable Ibrahim Dasuki Haske, a former chairman of Sokoto South Local Government and Northwest Zonal Vice President of the National Association of Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises; Alhaji Noura Attajiri, Chairman Sokoto State Association of Small-Scale Rice Millers and Producers; and Barrister Hafsat Dange, President of the Association of Northern Women Entrepreneurs. All three spoke glowingly about the clear benefits of the partial closure of Nigerian land border.
By the time we had the issue of closing land borders, though because of the level of literacy and ignorance in the country, many people were not happy, they were against it, but subsequently, especially particularly when the rice miller, a rice farmer, I know now all the rice millers, rice farmers, I don't think any one of them can advise government to open the border even for a single minute.
The border closure, I must say, came as a welcome development, especially for people in this area because we're actually a border state. I am happy, and I assure you that once the women are empowered, half of the community will be empowered, and it will result to more economic prosperity for not only Sokoto State, but the nation at large.
Some persons may feel that these policies are coming rather too late. Some other persons felt it is the right time for the policies. We are not concerned about whether it is the right time for the policy to be implemented, or it is late or it is not late. What we are concerned is about the impact of the policy. Is the policy making impact on the economy so that it can further make impact on the lives of the people? If yes, it's never too late. One of the things that this government has been doing is to learn from experiences. And from the time the ease of doing business was conceived up to this moment, which derived from the economic recovery and growth plan, the government has been consistent in rolling policies for policies that support the foundation.
Professor Nasir Yauri is the coordinator of the Sokoto Roundtable, as well as the keynote speaker at the occasion. He was deep, incisive, and highly intellectual. It is to the credit of Professor Nasir Yauri that credible participants were assembled. He was quite conscious of the onerous duty of setting the right tone for the engagement, and he did not disappoint.
We are here this morning as important stakeholders to interrogate two policies of the Buhari administration. The border closure policy, which was first announced in August 2019, with particular reference to Nigeria's border with the Republic of Benin, and later extended to all land borders in October 2019, and the recently announced visa on arrival policies. However, successful policy implementation hinges, like Ahmed Sajo rightly said, on a constant evaluation and review of policies with a view to making timely identification of policy successes and failures, strengths and weaknesses. So policy roundtables like this one are therefore meant to periodically review the efficacy or otherwise of policies with a view to informing policymakers of the need either to maintain current policy implementation or to make appropriate reviews.
Three respected scholars serve as panelists to the forum. Professor MZ Omar is of the Department of Political Science, Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto, and he currently serves as the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Sokoto State University. He spoke from a deep understanding of the politics of diplomatic engagement.
I would like to say that for us in governance and public policy, we are also not unaware of the fact that there are many breaches, especially in regards to how the operation of the border closure policy was implemented without recourse, to engagement with Nigerian citizenry. I will have vouched that this event that is holding today was held before the onset of the border closure policy, so that the country or the government will have a feel of the pulse of the nation about what needs to be done and how such things should be done.
Professor H.U. Malami of the Economics Department at the Usmanu Danfodio University addressed the issues related to economy and the economics, benefits of the border closure and visa on arrival.
We need to understand closure, as far as laws of any country is concerned, is simply not allowing all the illegal items or illegal activities or illegal manners to come into the country. In all circumstances, all nations' borders are always open and always closed. If we look at it this way, then the issue is which item that is allowed by the government to come into the country has been prevented from coming in. Or which item that has not been allowed to come into the country, the government should allow those items to come in, although they have been categorized as illegal.
Dr. T.K. Baba is the head of Department Political Science at Usman Danfodio University. His research interest is diplomacy, and his contributions were indeed robust and knowledgeable.
In this context, regime after regime and government after government, both military and civilian, sustain this foreign policy posture. Now, visa on arrival. Some will say this is even long overdue. What was Nigeria doing? When I look at the ranking of countries on the visa openness index, Nigeria is ranked 30th in Africa. Yet again, Nigeria is the most populous, the greatest nation with abundant natural resources, have had its hands everywhere in the continent of Africa. And now suddenly it was announced that visa on arrival. Kenya has long been operating that policy. Rwanda, which is now the most modernized economy in Africa, has already adopted that. And I think, colleagues and teachers here have emphasized the benefits of ease of entry. That ease of entry is also associated with ease of doing business. That ease of doing business is also synonymous with attracting foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment is also connected to the growth of the domestic economy. And that is also connected with fighting poverty, with fighting unemployment, with actually raising the level of incomes of people and breaching the inequality gaps that actually exist.
In all, 5 issues were addressed by both the panelists and the participant. These are: benefit accrue with respect to peace and security. 2. Benefit accrue with respect to reduction in the illegal importation of hard drugs. 3. Benefits accrue with respect to reduction of illegal smuggling of refined petroleum products. 4. Benefit accrue to agriculture and food security. 5. Benefit accrue with respect to African continental integration and ease of doing business in Nigeria. Both Ibrahim Bapetil Hassan, the Senior Special Assistant to the President, and Ahmed Sajo, the Technical Assistant, spoke to the issues right from the onset of the roundtable.
The other region too. So one of those things I think pains him. But I don't want to go detail because this is the area of the technical assistance on the policy roundtable. I sincerely appreciate and we welcome you. And I want to tell you, everything you said here goes to the president.
The session were very stimulating and quite engaging. Almost all participants spoke to the 5 issues succinctly. Those who intervened in the illegal importation of drugs correlated it to security situation.
The Roundtable is a unique process we fashioned out in the Office of the Senior Special Assistant on Policy Development and Analysis. And essentially what it does is that it brings together key stakeholders around an issue, interrogate the issue, and also, of course, apart from academics, civil society players, other professionals, We also bring in people who are involved directly, like in the case of the Sokoto Roundtable, we brought in people who are even involved in the cross-border trade to come and sit together and interrogate the issues related to border closure, partial border closure, and the visa on arrival. Essentially what we do is that when we gather all these views, we synthesize them, we analyze them, and we look at them dispassionately and collate the aggregate views of the stakeholders at the forum. And these aggregate views are put together, and we use it to produce an advisory. And that advisory is what the Senior Special Assistant places on the table of His Excellency the President.
It was after this border closure that we realized is that Benin Republic is next to United States of America in the importation of tramadol to Benin Republic of 12 million people. One ship of tramadol is over 30 million users, and there are only 12 million people in Benin Republic. So that means it's his own constituency that is taking tramadol. So he should not sit down and then allow it continue until when they destroy the youth.
I even very happy the issue of drug abuse you made mention, as you made mention, because we can't disconnect our insecurity challenges with drug abuse.
The most excited participants were the farmers, rice millers and merchants. They were full of praises of the border closure, to the extent that some of the keys of the borders should be thrown to the sea. Others claimed that the fortunes that they had made since the partial border closure cannot be quantified.
The economy improved, the family living improved, and activities enhanced. Most of the companies, if you go to Kano and other parts of the country, most of the rice millers that were closed before, now they embark in full operation.
Speaking on the important export development as they concern the partial border closure, some of the participants turned out well informed on the issues. This is where the issue of fuel smuggling were raised. Ibrahim Bapete raised very valid issues around the visa on arrival policy. He was supported by Ahmed Sajo, Professor H.U. Malami, and M.Z. Umar. But it was Professor Nasiru Yauri that succinctly captured the issues around the policy and clarified some of the gray areas.
The visa on arrival policy, on the other hand, for all Africans visiting Nigeria was announced by President Muhammadu Buhari in December 2019 while attending a Peace and Development Summit in Egypt. Although many may not readily discern its direct affinity to the border closure policy, the visa on arrival policy is an international relations gimmick that can deliver strong economic goals. It has the capacity to bring investors to Nigeria, for example, if we are talking to local rice farmers, to partner with local investors to grow Nigeria rice and to produce Nigeria rice.
The visa on arrival is a policy that is meant to ensure proper integration of the African continent within the realm of Nigeria making Africa the centerpiece of our foreign policy, within the realm of African integration that has already been started in countries like Kenya, Rwanda, and a few other countries in Africa. So we, in overall, the Sokoto Roundtable was able to appreciate all the issues. They were able to look at the issues that have to do with illegal importation of arms and ammunition. They were able to look at issues that have to do with illegal importation of hard drugs. They were able to look at issues that have to do with importation of expired agricultural products that were a health hazard to Nigerians. We were able to look at the issue of illegal smuggling of refined petroleum products. And we were also able to look at the building of inter-African, movement of peoples and, expanding the horizons of the ease of doing business amongst our African brothers and sisters.
At the end of the discussion and session, certain facts came out very clearly. 1. The two policies are beneficial to Nigerians, both in the short term and in the long run. 2. That public sensitization is essential for the success of any government policy. 3. That there is a need to improve border control infrastructure and visa processing facility at all points of entry. 4. That the partial border closure has greatly improved security situation by checking the importation of small arms and ammunition. 5. That the concept of ease of doing business cannot succeed without ease of entry into the country and easing of port operations. 6. That there is a need for a data-driven system premised on new technologies to ensure effectiveness of the policies. At the end of the entire engagement, Professor Nasir Yauri delivered a summary of the whole exercise that was apt, all-encompassing and moving. He indeed captured the whole essence of the roundtable.
The border closure may hurt some of our neighbors greatly, but it is essentially a policy that is intended to benefit our citizens and grow our economy. We cannot love our neighbors more than our citizens or place their interests above those of our citizens. The policy will surely help to secure our nation, protect our citizens from drug abuse, and above all, grow our economy by giving a big boost to agricultural production and revenue generation through legal collection of custom duties. These are indeed bountiful harvests for the nation. Talking about visa on arrival for brother Africans, Professor Yauri said regional integration is impossible without easing the entry and exit process of citizens of African countries. He further explained that visa on arrival is a policy mostly related to airports as point of entry.
Despite the outcry from our neighbors, let me borrow the words of Professor Nasir Yauri, where he said that we cannot love our neighbors more than we love ourselves. Nigeria had to protect itself, although it may hurt them, but actually we are trying to protect ourselves. So that is the reason why you see the government is doing that.
The two policies are policies that are meant to promote the growth and development of Nigeria. At the same time, especially the border closure, allowing Nigerians to maximize the revolution in agriculture.
Initially, the program of closing the border was not properly understood, but now many people have understood the benefits. The other said, yes, close the border, but allow all those items that are legal to come into the country, because his friend could not bring in a few things because they have been held up at the border. These are their views.
For one who has been actively involved in the Roundtable conference, traveled different parts of the nation to meet Nigerians, the ordinary Nigerians, and interrogate their views on policies that were implemented by the president. To my greatest amazement, I discovered that the people of Sokoto key into the president's policy. They are well informed, and to them, as far as they are concerned, the issue of border closure should be a permanent thing, because one, it is beneficial to both the people around the community, it is beneficial to the farmers, it is beneficial to the marketers, it has improved the economy, it has brought a whole lot of things on the table of the ordinary man in Sokoto. In fact, I think it was very, very apt. The president came in with this policy at the right time. The closing remarks by Ibrahim Papitil Hassan, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Policy Development and Analysis, marked the end of the roundtable. It was a moving speech from a satisfied convener.
I want to use this opportunity to thank people of Sokoto for having time to come, especially despite the tight schedule of our panelists, to leave all what they are doing, our participants, to leave all what they are doing. Especially today is a special day in Sokoto, especially the academician, but they were able to come to make sure we sit down together and discuss and champion the cause of Nigeria and the people of Nigeria. All of these advisories that we got from the people here and all the observations, I want to assure the participants that this advisory will reach to our procurator. This advisory will reach to Mr. President.
It was a fulfilling exercise at the beginning of the year.